Brother, is this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight? Violence doesn't belong here. As you well know, this is unforgivable.
Very well, brother. I accept my punishment.
Now, show me what you have on you. I must confiscate anything that's not allowed in the monastery.
He'd love to have us all loose.
The road. One more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by
Brother.
the roots as soon as they begin.
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
The well-disposed and those of good
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really?
hard, proud, and
Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next time you'll be punished just like everyone else.
other bodily punishment. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not fool.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices. What would you like?
I've discovered something about the wrongs being committed here.
I see. Tell me more.
The Circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
Brother Yodok has been stealing wine for the Circators so they can drink.
Yodok? Well, that little rat's shown his true colours. Do you know where he's stealing it from?
From the cellar of a low-ranking vassal outside the monastery walls.
Clever. The custodian would never suspect anyone in the monastery. And no one here would suspect monks were drinking secretly when no wine's missing. Thank you, brother. Could you please inform the prior? If I were to do it, they'd cry false accusations.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me. I'd be interested to hear it.
Here's the book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
How can a novice get out of the monastery?
And what would you do out there? I'm sorry I can't help you. Now, if there's anything more reasonable I can help you with...
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
Don't even look at our cabinet. It contains forbidden books.
What is it, brother?
I have all the pages of the torn-up book. The Art of Love can go back to the library.
Oh, brother, you can't even imagine how happy you've made me. Since you're clearly a true lover of books, I'll give you a reward I've never given another novice. I'll lend you the key to the cabinet containing forbidden books, and you can look at the peculiar things we've accumulated there. That cabinet's strictly off limits to novices, but you've earned my trust. I'm sure you'll recognize that those books contain nothing but dangerous gibberish, and there's a valuable lesson to be learned there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate your trust. Is there anything I can do to help here?
I'm glad you asked. There's one thing, a silly thing really. I haven't thought to mention it to anyone before, but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall. The thing is, it was a page from Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. Good work. I can see you have talent. And what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
Peace be with you, brother. Peace be with you, brother.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
This is not a good time for questions, brother. Can't you see we're at Mass?
Escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature
Talk to me,
as keep
brother.
them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil.
I'm interested in the other
These must be
novices.
taken into consideration by the abbot.
What can you tell me about
The rule
Siskin?
of Saint Benedict.
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend.
When anyone
But I
receives
reckon he
the
don't
name of
belong in
abbot,
the monastery.
he ought to
He
govern
spends
his
more time
disciples
dreaming
with
of the world
full
outside than tending to his duties.
That is to say,
I'm surprised he hasn't
should show
been
them
thrown
all that
out
is good
already.
and
If it was
holy
up to me,
by his
he'd be out
deeds
on his
even
ear
more
right
than
away.
by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments.
Sounds like you
and
don't
words
have
to
much
the
time for him.
intelligent among his
No, I
disciples.
don't. He isn't a proper monk and he
Demonstrating
doesn't
divine
belong here.
precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed. From him,
I've read the
more
abbot's
is
book.
required. Let him
It
make
says in
no
there that you're not
distinction
as
of
saintly as
persons
you
in the
make out.
monastery.
Actually,
Let him
it
not
seems
love
like you're as
one
lecherous
more
as a
than another,
boring rut.
unless it be
You
one
broke
whom
into
he
the abbot's
finds
quarters
better
to
in good
spy on
works
me?
or in
You
obedience.
won't get away with
And
it.
let him
I
not
wasn't
shut
interested
his
in your
eyes to
opinion
the
about what
faults
I
of
did.
offenders,
What interests me
but
is
since
you
he
and
has
what the book has to
authority,
say
let
about
him
you.
cut
I'm not
out
going to
those
tell you
faults
anything.
by the
I'm going to
roots
report
as
you.
soon as they begin to appear.
Just try it, and I'll smack
Remembering
you
the
so
feet of
hard your
Heli,
feet won't touch the
priest
ground.
of Silo.
No,
For well
no,
disposed
don't hit
and
me.
those of good
I won't say anything to
understanding,
anyone,
let
I
him correct
promise.
with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold,
Listen,
hard,
there's something I ought to
proud,
tell you.
disobedient characters
There's a dangerous criminal
curb at the
hiding
very
in the
beginning
monastery,
of their
and I
ill
came here
by
to look for
stripes
him.
and
Ha!
other
I
bodily
knew it.
punishments.
He's a
Knowing
villain.
that it is written, the fool is not
Who
corrected
are
with
you,
words.
though? Oh,
And again,
it's better not to
speak
ask,
your
isn't
son
it?
with the rod,
It's
and
always
will
safer
deliver
not
his
to
soul
ask.
from death.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
The rule
That's
of
Siskin.
Benedict.
I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
Therefore,
You mean his not going to morning prayers?
So you noticed that too?
And again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for
Actually,
prescribed
you
as
could be
follows.
right.
I think when you take a closer look at Siskin, you'll find he's the one you're looking for.
Out from prime in the morning, let them labor at
Ah, you've got the wrong end of the
necessary
stick.
until
That has
about
nothing to do with anything.
And from the
You
fourth
think so?
hour until about
He
six,
definitely acts like a
let them
criminal.
apply themselves
Who else would it be?
That's what I'm trying to find
after the
out.
sixth hour having
What are
left
you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to
I don't know yet.
let him read to himself in such a way
You should talk to the Circators or the Prior about it.
let
Not act on
none
your
be
own.
said rather early at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature.
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
And at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil.
There's something I should tell you. Something you won't be happy to hear. I'm here to find someone and, well, to do away with him. But listen, it's not murder. Not when it's a man like him. He's one of the brigands who burned down Neuhoff. He doesn't deserve to live.
What's he doing here? And who are you?
They call him pious because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, he hid away here. And as you can see, escaped suspicion. They sent me here to find him and bring him to justice. He's one of the novices.
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst. This place is a lot more exciting than I expected. Do you know who it is?
Well, that's just it.
For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply
No, but I hope I'll track him down soon. If you find any clue that could lead me to him,
I swear I don't know anything. Except that I'm not the one you're looking for.
is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward,
I suspect it could be Yodok.
he will incur
Do you know that occurred to me too?
unless he amends
Yodok's a scoundrel and a cheat. I believe he'd be capable of anything.
the rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the app. Therefore,
could be
if anyone
Antonius?
receives the name of
Antonius!
he ought to
He's a
govern
fine
his
fellow.
disciples.
No, it can't be him.
That is to
Although,
say, he should
you
show
never
all
know
that
what's
is
hiding
good
beneath
and
a
holy
man's skin.
by his deeds, even
See how hard it
by
is?
his words.
It could be anyone, and at the same time, nobody in particular.
Words to the intelligent among his disciples.
I suspect Lucas.
Demonstrating the divine
He
precept
certainly
by
says little enough, and he keeps himself to himself.
the abbot
I could well believe he's hiding something,
and what he is
but not that he's a killer.
know that to whom more is committed. From him
It could be
more
you.
is required. Let him make no
What on earth
distinction
makes
of
you think
persons
that?
in the monastery.
My being unfit for holy orders doesn't make me a former assassin.
Be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience.
True enough.
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders.
I won't tell you more, and I'd like you to keep silent about this too.
You're talking about killing in the monastery. I really should report it.
Remembering the fate of Heli,
Would you do that? I have a feeling you wouldn't.
You're right. I'll keep it to myself. I've got problems enough of my own without involving myself in yours. And besides, I mean to be gone from here within a year, so why should I care what happens with the monastery?
Thank you, Siskin. I appreciate it.
Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of
What would you like?
idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be offered at certain times.
I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
Until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lucas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
Maybe you're right. It's not a pretty thought. Thanks for your help, and please don't say a word to anyone.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lips.
should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes.
I've
to
heard
the
that
faults of
you,
offenders, but since he has
well,
the
that you enjoy the
authority,
company
let
of
him
men.
cut out those faults
Is
by
there
the
any truth to
roots,
it?
as soon
What?
as they begin to appear.
How do you know that?
I read it in the abbot's book.
The fate of Heli,
What? The abbot's book is locked up in his chambers, and he'd never allow anyone to read it.
let him
Did you
correct
break in?
verbal admonition.
But why? Just so you could dig something up on me?
I was looking for something else, but I just happened to come across your story.
No matter what you were looking for, you crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. But don't worry, I won't tell on you if you promise me the same.
Is not corrected with words.
Yes, you can call me a sodomite, a sinner, a monster, the spawn of Satan. But tell me this, Gregor. Can I help the way I am? I tell you, it's a test of my faith. A test so daunting you can't even imagine
When
it.
anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more
You're right.
than by his words.
I found it interesting, but I'm not judging you.
In words
You are the way you are.
intelligent among his
You should be true to
disciples,
yourself.
but demonstrate
I'm glad you aren't like the others.
by his actions
Thank you for not passing
and
judgment.
ruder minds.
I swear to God, I've never lain with another man. I've never sinned. When my father wanted me to find a wife and start a family, I told him the truth, and he had me sent here. And in a way, I was glad. My guilt had been consuming me, and I knew in the monastery I'd find peace. The Lord sees my soul, and He knows it's pure.
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out
In the
those
night,
faults
I
by
overheard the
roots
cicadas
as
in the
soon
cellar.
as they begin
They were
to
talking
grow.
about you.
Oh no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
Let him correct with verbal
What do you think?
admonition the first
Just like you, I saw the cicadas drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
Proud and disobedient characters, he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected
We
with
should report
words.
them.
And again,
I agree.
beat your son with the rod, and you will
I
deliver
warned them if they
souls
didn't
from
stop,
death.
I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me.
Daily manual.
You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offences, or for no offence at all.
We think that the time for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the
Is there
4th
something I can
hour
do to
until
help?
about the 6th,
Would you?
let them apply themselves to reading.
I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them. Have a talk, set things straight, then they'd leave me alone.
Anyone may perhaps want to
But
read
I'm afraid even this
read
path
himself
leads
in
nowhere.
such a way as
They'd
not
probably
to
start hounding you as well.
Let none be said rather early at the middle
I'm not afraid of them.
hour, and let them again
Brother,
work at
you
the
have the courage I lack. May the grace of God be upon you.
Brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them
There's something I should tell
vigorous
you.
and at the same time
Something
not
secret.
overburden them or drive
I'm
them
looking
to
for someone here in the monastery.
their weakness must
You're
be taken
looking
into
for someone?
consideration by the
But
abbot.
you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a
Rule of
novice,
Saint Benedict.
at least until I find the man I'm
Reading
looking
from the
for.
abbot. Therefore,
Why would you
when
be
anyone
looking amongst
receives the name of
monks?
abbot,
You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law,
that is
the
to
law of
say,
the church.
we should show them
I'm
all
looking
that
for a
is good
footpad
and
who's
holy
hiding out here in the
by
monastery.
deeds even more than
He
by
had a
words,
hand in raising the Neuhoff
expounding the
farm.
Lord's
He's taken many
commandments
lives.
in words to the
I
intelligent
heard
among
something
his
about
disciples.
that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That
The abbot
can't
should
be.
always remember what
Have
he
you told the
is,
prior?
what he is called.
What are you going to do to this
And
man
know
once you
that
find
to
him?
whom more is committed. From him, more is required. Let him make
Talk
no
to him.
distinction of persons
Then I'll
in the
see.
monastery.
Do you have any idea
Not
which
love
of the
one
novices
more
could be
than
the
another,
impostor I'm looking
unless
for?
it be one
I
whom
don't
he
know,
finds better
and
in
I don't
words
care to
or
know.
in
I wish you'd never told me.
Let him not
Now I
shut
won't be
his
able to
eyes
sleep
to
at
the
night.
faults of offenders, but since he has the authority, let him cut
Will you
out
tell me
those
something about
faults by
yourself?
the roots as
Guy,
soon as they
there's
begin.
nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're
Remembering
from,
the
what sort
fate
of life you had before, that sort of
priest
thing.
Silas.
I'm
Well
a novice,
disposed
and my
those who
monastic name is
understand.
Lucas.
Let him correct with
Nothing
verbal
else matters.
admonition The first and second time.
You see, I'm looking for someone here.
Proud and
You're
disobedient
looking for
character.
someone?
He should
But
curb
you're a
at the
novice,
very
aren't you?
beginning of
I am a
the
novice,
by stripes
at least
and
until I
other
find the man
bodily
I'm looking for.
punishments. Knowing
Why
that
would
it
you
is
be
written,
looking amongst
"The fool
monks?
is not corrected
You know,
with
the laws of
words."
man aren't valid
Again,
here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law,
And
the
you
law of the
deliver
church.
soul from
I'm
death.
looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery.
Rule of Saint Benedict.
He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm.
The first
He's taken many lives.
is a
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me.
who, because
It
of
has to be one of the other novices.
That
and the fear
can't
of hell
be.
and the glory of
Have you
life.
told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Superior. Receive it as a divine
I don't know yet.
and cannot suffer any delay.
It won't be easy to drag this criminal away from the protection of the cloister,
To God and
unless the abbot gives his blessing.
commanded
But
is done
I
without
still can't believe it.
Do you have any idea which of the
I don't know, and I don't.
For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and earth, not necessarily with his lips but simply.
Gloria in excelsis